everybody, and welcome to our webinar. I'm Michela Di Carlo. I'm the founder and chief editor of CrunchyTales.com, and today I'm so excited because Joyce Connor, a professional makeup artist and crunchy expert, is here with us to share her tips on how to get our glow back. Welcome, Joyce.
Hi, Michaela. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone. Thanks for watching. Today, I'm going to show you some hot tips on looking good in your midlife. I'm a professional makeup artist and skin therapist based in Reading, UK.
Well, I don't know about you, but I'm really in need of a makeup artist because sometimes I wake up in the morning feeling like a Picasso face. I don't know. I have a piece of here, a piece of that, and I need sometimes to look a bit more decent, let's say that. So I'm really looking forward to hearing what you are going to share with us today. So, Joyce, I leave you the arena. It's all for you. And I might pop in later. And so good luck and see you later. Ciao.
Ciao. Thank you, Michaela. Hi, everyone. I'm going to talk about how we do our skincare. We neglect a lot of our face, and during winter especially, and midlife, we need to take a little extra care. So if you love wearing makeup, it's important to double cleanse. So some of my favorites are Elemis pre-cleansing balm, which is fantastic. It's a lovely balm. You can see you apply that to your face, you emulsify it with water, and then you rinse off. I'm also a huge fan of foaming cleansers, and this one, you can't see it, oops, got there. That's Huxley, and it's a foaming gel. So you would apply it into your hands, you would add some water, and then you would foam this up and cleanse all over. So today I have cleansed already in preparation for seeing you all. Another great thing I love to do is as we age, our dead skin cells stay on the surface of the skin, and we need to help remove them. So you can either use something to scrub away those dead skin cells, or you can pick something like this Pixie Glow Tonic, which is a glycolic acid. And I know a lot of people are afraid of acids, but seriously, they're not as bad as they sound, and they do help to cleanse the skin. So you'd apply it to 2 cotton pads, and then you would gently, don't forget your neck and your décolleté and your face. So when you're using acids, try not to put them anywhere near the eyes, but this will help your makeup stay on really, really well. So apply that, add another layer, and our makeup will last. So the next thing that's really important, especially when our skins are dehydrated, because as we get older, we're in winter time now, so the central heating, that's going to zap every bit of moisture out of our skin. So one of my favorites is Caudalie, and it's just great water. Now Caudalie's a favorite because they make their skincare from the vines, and then they use those vines, the grapes that grow, to grow their own wine. They have a fantastic spa in France, if anyone ever gets to go there, but you just need a very light spritz on the skin, not too much, not so that it's dripping, but we want to apply that so we're injecting moisture back into the skin before we apply the makeup. Another top product for any skin over 25 should be using an eye cream, and a lot of people apply way too much eye cream. The amount of eye cream we need is just that much, size of a rice grain. Pat your 2 fingers together, ring fingers especially, because they apply the least amount of pressure, and then we just tap very gently tap it around the eyes, sort of maybe 6 times. We just want to go backwards and forwards with this cream. And as someone who doesn't waste any product, if you've got any left on your fingers, you want to tap this eye cream onto your lips as well, because our lips need as much hydration as under our eyes, but in a very delicate way. More serums. Vitamin C. Love vitamin C serum. It's one of the best brightening ingredients, as well as retinol. They work together. You can use one in the morning and one in the evening. I would use the vitamin C in the morning and the retinol serum at night. So just very lightly push your hands together and press serums onto your skin. It's better to press them so that you keep the molecular structure of the product together. So it's a really nice, gentle pressure, not too hard. And also the one place we forget to do, the backs of our neck. The backs of our necks need doing just as much as the rest of our face. And last but not least, I'm using Get Up and Go cream. And this is from a brand called Herbal Essentials. It's quite a budget-friendly moisturizer. This is just a day cream. I'd apply this by warming the product in my hands. You should always warm your moisturizer and massage it into the skin. But you don't want it to be too oil rich, because if it's too oily, your makeup will just slide. Don't forget the back of your neck again. Upward strokes on the neck. And downward and outwards. There. So that's our cleansing routine. Now, if I was going out in the daytime, my next final step in skincare would be an SPF. SPFs are important. They're the best anti-aging product we've got. They're the last step in skincare, first step in makeup. If you remember it that way, then you'll never forget it. So you should always wear an SPF all year, 365 days a year. I know a lot of people think, oh, well, you know, we don't need to be in wearing an SPF, but the UVA rays are the aging rays, and that's what you're protecting yourself from. And UV light, being daylight itself, that's what ages us the most. So we have to protect our skins from that. So I'm going to show you a really simple day makeup, with us being on technology all the time, with us sitting in front of Zoom or wearing our masks. Our eyes are the biggest part of our facial look that these days, hopefully not for much longer, and we'll get back to normal. So in terms of doing makeup, I always start with a concealer, because I want to cover up anything I don't want to see. So when you do your makeup, I always think it's a good idea to have Q-tips, cotton pads, reusable or just general ones, and some tissues in front of you. These things are going to help to apply the makeup, correct anything that you might go wrong with. So I'm going to use a cotton bud to get some of my concealer. So you'll see that my concealer is quite orangey looking. And I'm going to apply that under my eye, because under my eye I am quite dark circles. And I'm going to again.
I'm a bit curious. Why are you using that particular concealer? I've never seen a concealer like that.
Because I have dark circles, peachy colours are really good at lifting the eye and warming up underneath the eye. So if you use something beige, it's not going to brighten and lift the eye as much. So now, I don't know, can you see the difference? This eye is much brighter than this one because it doesn't have that peach. So any peachy colours are the best for mature ladies. It helps to warm up under the eye. Whereas if you have something too white or too beige, it just looks ashy.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. So we're just going to put that under the eye and blend it a little bit more. So if anyone has any questions while I'm doing this, please do ask. Michaela's there to help me navigate the questions. And so you can see now that I've done this eye. Underneath it isn't dark like that one. Now I'm going to do the same thing on this one, put something peachy and then blend. And I'm blending this all the way into the inner corner, onto the bridge of my nose, right up to the lashes and out again. I've put a little bit too much there. And I'm just going to blend this out. And you know, where Michaela's just asked about the colour and it looking a little bit different, it's because it's a creamier consistency. Now you can use this with liquids, you can do the same kind of thing, but I'm patting it because if you rub, now can you see I put a lot more on this eye than this eye. I just wanted you to see the difference of how it can change the look. So we're just going to add. Can you see?
Joyce, one a member of our community, Nai, hi Nai, is very happy finally to see a makeup artist that is rubbing gently, you know, the concealer, because sometimes it looks like we are all in a rush and, you know, it's not so good for our delicate skin.
Yes, exactly. It's all, the lighter the pressure, the better. You know, I see people rubbing everything. My face is delicate. I want to keep the skin where it is. The more you drag the skin, the less benefit your skin has. So you want to apply minimal pressure to your face. And thank you for your kind comment. That's lovely. So we're just going to do that. And then the next thing I'm going to apply is my foundation. So I'm using a water-based foundation. And I know when I hold this against my face, you think, oh my God, it's not the right color. But my undertone is yellow. So you need to find your undertone. And because my undertone is yellow, when I put this on, you will see that it is my skin color. This is a water-based foundation because I don't want a really heavy, thick layer onto my skin. And this is by B Radiance. It's a French company based in Paris. And I'm just going to apply this onto my hand. I'll just show you. Oh, I keep going the opposite way. Can you see? And then I'm going to use a brush. So when you put liquid foundations on, you start at the nose. You start at your nose and you sweep down your face. And I remember people used to dab all over. But the problem with doing that is foundations now dry rapidly. So we want to apply as little to the face as possible and blend out.
Joyce, for me, it's very difficult to manage brush. Yes. I don't know why, but you know, I can't do that. Please, can you explain a bit better how to use it? Because I usually use a sponge, the old-fashioned sponges, but probably with the
Oh,
brush,
yes.
the result
Yeah,
is
yeah.
better.
Yeah, with a brush, you can apply little bits at a time. But the other thing about using a brush is it helps you to sweep down. And the reason I'm sweeping down is because if we have any hairs on our face, we have those little fine hairs, we want them to stick down. So we push the brush down. With a sponge, you don't actually get that, especially with these blending sponges, because you're bouncing. So when you lift the sponge, it pulls the hair back up again.
All right. Okay.
So you need to go as far up onto the hair line as you can, down onto the chin. Now I'm using the brush to blend the concealer and the foundation together. Now, if I had very oily skin, I would have put powder on my forehead first. But because my skin's quite normal, I don't do that. So can you see that I've blended? I look quite yellow on this video, but I'm not, I promise you. Now we have to set it. Setting powder's a godsend. I couldn't imagine not having a setting powder in my kit. I used to just put my makeup on and then 2 hours later it was gone, or parts of it was gone, or it was patchy. So I started when I became a makeup artist using setting powders. But also the other thing about powder is you don't really want your powder to be too heavy or caked on your face, because it makes it look dry, especially if your skin is dry, it will just sit on the dryness. If you've got any fine lines or deep lines around the eye, avoid putting too much powder there, because it will just sit in every crease that it finds. So I'm using a mineral rice powder. It says it's dark, but it doesn't. I know it doesn't look dark, but it is for dark skin. So I'm just tipping some of that powder out onto a tissue. You can tip it into the lid if it's yours. And I'm going to use a floppy brush. This brush is from Kit Stars. They do natural hair, or they do synthetic vegan brushes. So pat the powder onto your forehead first, onto your nose.
Joyce,
yeah.
Joyce, excuse me. Do you think we always have to put some powder? Because I realize that now that I'm getting older, sometimes even if I have an oily skin, I don't know why, but it make my face a bit cracky. Can I say that?
Yes. Yeah, I know what you mean. But if your skin's oily, put the powder under the foundation.
Oh, I didn't know about it.
Yes. So if you put the powder underneath, then the oil gets absorbed by the powder.
Yeah.
And the foundation. So, yes, and also I think a lot of people put far too much powder. If you put too much.
But what if, for instance, I have instead a dry skin? Don't you think that powder might make my skin even drier?
Yeah, but in that case, I would only set the T-zone. If your skin was dry, because it's very rare that the forehead, nose and chin are going to be extremely dry, but this part of the face will be quite dry. And a lot of people get confused between dry and dehydrated. So dehydrated skin lacks moisture and it feels tight. So if you do this, it feels tight. It feels like it's going to crack. Whereas dry skin is obviously, it's obvious, the dryness. You can see the flakiness. You can brush the flaky skin off, and it lacks oil, and that's what it needs. So including a facial oil in dry skin will really help a lot.
Okay.
So you can see I put the powder on the T-zone, but I didn't put it here, but I'm brushing it out so that it's on those places. But yeah, powder is one of the scariest things. You have to find the right powder for your skin. There are so many different ones now. Compact powders, even if I press the compact powder on, I use loose powder. If I press the compact powder onto my face, I would still brush it off so that I didn't have lots lying on my face. So you just do a quick brush. So that's my base. And lots and lots of us ladies, as we get older, we lose our brow hair. So there are so many different ways to do it. So you can use a pencil, one of these very fine nibbed pencils. You can hardly see the pencil's so fine, but it's got a nice thin line, so you can draw hairs with that. I like things that I can draw individual hair strands as opposed to putting a massive block of black on my brow. I also have this palette, and this is a professional palette, so you know you're not going to buy all the colors. That's the wax, and then there's 4 colors here. I tend to use a combination of these two in the middle. It comes with a brush, so it has a spoolie on one end and it has an angled brush on the other. And the other thing I use, which I absolutely love, is a brow pen. So can you see that's got a really fine nib, and that fine nib helps to draw hairs too. So also always get a pen that's not as dark as your hair. So never get black for your brows. It's so aging and heavy. So I use a dark brown. If you're very fair blonde, you want to stick with blonde pencils. If you're a brunette, you could go ash blonde or light brown. So you don't want it to be too dark. And the way we measure our brows is you want to go from the outer corner of your nose and the inner corner of your eye. That's where the brow starts. We turn the pencil outer corner of the nose to the middle of the eye, and that's where the peak is. And then the outer corner of the nose and the outer corner of the eye. So I've shaped my brows today because they did need it. They've gone a bit wild, so I needed to tame them. So I'm going to use the pencil, and we draw up with maybe four strands of hair. I'm going up. Then I'm going to turn the pencil, so I'm angling it towards where the peak is. So I'm going from here up, from here up. So I'm drawing individual hairs. And then when I get to the peak, I want to start coming down the brow. So I'm coming down the brow like this. So you can see I've made a better shape than that one. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going up 4 hairs and then angling outwards towards the peak and then down. Now, if you need extra length, you can make extra length with this. And then once you're done, the best thing to do is always brush back through so that it doesn't look artificial.
You know, Joyce, I can see that slowly but surely your face is changing. You're transforming yourself. And I can see especially how important are the eyebrows. So important. Especially
Yeah,
because I don't know, but at our age, you know, our eyes tend to lose, I don't know, that sparkle, unfortunately. And with the right, you know, arches, maybe we can look a bit better.
yeah. A lot. I see people who've overplucked. You know,
Mhm.
they've overplucked the brow, so they draw in an arch like this. But we
Yeah.
want to keep the fullness here, and then make a tail.
Okay. All right. The tail. Yeah.
Can you can you can you still hear me? Oh, she's gone. Okay, so now you can see my brows. You're beginning to see the shape of the eye is changing. So you've got lots of different options for the eyebrows, but they're the particular things that I like. And I always do my base first before I do my eyes, but you can do it the other way around. You can do your eyes first and then your base last. So the next thing I'm going to do is bronzer. So I only put a very small amount of bronzer, not too much, and I'm going to use that same floppy brush. We're going to take some of this bronzer, but always tap the brush so that the excess falls out. So we want to apply some bronzer here on the temple and here on this temple. So you don't want it all over, you just want it near the hairline. Then you're going to take a bit more bronzer, and just where we suck our teeth in, that's where, oh, sorry. Where we suck our teeth in, that's where we want to apply this bronzer. So we just want it on that line. And you might want to put it here because bronzer here, especially if you've got a double chin, you want to lift that chin up. Bronzer underneath here is a good distraction. It pulls it all in. So now I've got a nice temples and a slimming of my face there. You can do that with contour palettes if you want to. I'm not a huge fan of that too much heavy makeup. We want to keep it quite simple. So then we're going to do our eyes. Now, when it comes to eyes, if you don't use an eye primer, you want your eyeshadow to stay on all day. The best thing to do is use an eyeshadow that is similar to your skin tone. So I have one. I always work with 3 palettes at a time, and a lot of the time you can see, you can see on this palette my favorites are empty. And I also have this palette here. You can see my favorites are gone because I absolutely love them. So I'm just going to apply using a flat brush.
Joyce,
Yeah.
which color would you suggest for blue eyes and for brown eyes? I know, I mean, for you it's quite obvious, but not for us. Because I realized, for instance, I have brown eyes, and I used to play with a brownish, purplish palette. But now that I'm getting older, I can see that sometimes those colors add, you know, not a nice finish, let's say that.
Yeah. So when you've got blue eyes, avoid blue eyeshadows and greens. you can go for greys. A navy blue's all right, but brown eyes can virtually wear any color. But instead of going for like the purples, go for a navy blue or a dark gray, like a charcoaly gray.
Okay.
And black. A lot of black is so harsh, especially on paler skins. It's too much. If you wore black eyeshadow, Michaela, it would just make your eyes look small. So you want something.
You know what? One of my biggest concern is the fact that now, I don't know about you, but I can see that sometimes I have an eye bigger than the other ones. And
yeah, I do.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it's happening, but how can I rebalance the two?
Yeah. The thing is to keep your eyeshadow above that point and always going up like this. If it starts coming down here, you imagine if I pull my eye, if I lifted this eye, and oh gosh, I'm going mad, and I do put the dark here, this is going to be wide open and this one's going to look droopy because it's too much heaviness in the outer corner.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. So keep everything back neutral. So I'm going to use a matte brown, which actually I don't have my matte brown because I've used it all. So I'm mixing these, which are, they look brown, but they're sort of a pinky lilac-y shade. So when you do eyeshadow, you should put a matte neutral shade over the lid, and this will help any satin stay when you put it on. So if you add a color, so you can see already that has changed just by adding the color. It's changed my eye already. And it's quite a neutral tone. So I'm using those two top ones. I'm just going in here again and try and keep that eye shape. Keep the shape of the eye in that semicircular shape and press and pat the eyeshadow on as opposed to sweeping it on, because if you sweep it on, then everything starts falling down onto your face as well.
Joyce, sorry to interrupt you. So Patti Bonsera, one of our experts too, is saying my eyes are hazel and sometimes look green or blue depending on what I'm wearing. So which color would you suggest on her eyes?
Sorry, say that again. That you completely broke up there, Michaela.
Oh, okay, sorry. So, I mean, one of our experts,
yeah.
Patti Bonsera, our financial therapist, is saying on her comments, my eyes are hazel and sometimes look green or blue depending on what I'm wearing. In this case, you know, it's quite challenging. Which color would you suggest?
Oh, right. So I would go for oranges, peachy colors, quite goldeny colors would look lovely.
All right. And
golden autumn colors.
Okay. And another question, Adri Potts, one of our ambassadors, is asking, wouldn't it be great to get palettes with just one or two colors, just the ones we use constantly, rather than lots of colors left unused?
Yes, absolutely. And you can see by my palettes, I've used all the ones that I love and not the others. Buying multiple shades is a waste of time. That's too much. I'll never wear all of that. A palette with 3 colors, but you should always have a matte light, a matte skin tone, and a matte dark.
Okay.
So highlight with a dark color. Now, because of my dark skin, I can use black, and it's not going to be too heavy. But if you're very pale and you might think, oh, my eyes are small, or your eyes might be, you know, you might have a lot of fine lines, the black is just going to enhance that. So, like I said, go for navy or browns or anything like that. And so I'm going to just put this one here. It's this kind of a goldish color, and I'm only using two colors today, but you could quite easily take to shape in here. We're going to blend
Joyce,
a dark color in here to give you some depth. So you,
Joyce, how about MAC Cosmetics? We have Rachel Cross here, who is saying that MAC do single shade palettes. Actually, I have to say that I like MAC. I don't want to do any particular special promotion, but I have to say that MAC works quite well on my skin.
Yeah. MAC, or it depends on the budget, but pigment wise, MAC is very good. Inglot, do you have Inglot? Do you know that brand? They're a Polish brand. They're in Europe.
Okay.
So Inglot are quite good because you can make your own palettes, and MAC you can make your own palettes up. So you choose the colors you want, and then they make the palette for you.
Ah, that's good. Yeah.
So they're quite good ones.
Okay.
Yeah, you can just use one color. Some days I just put one color on. So can you see where I've put this gold? Because I just want a bit of an enhanced lid. Sort of a bronzy gold color. You can see that I've just put it on the lid itself, but I've got the definition of the other color in there. And I'm going to take a clean brush and just very gently buff any excess away, because you don't want to end up with lots and lots of bits, or you don't want it to look like you've drawn a line either. So they're the only 2 colors I'm using, because I'm keeping this a simple look. You can define and make it smoky by adding a dark color on the outside and taking that dark under the lid, under the lower lid. But what I'm going to do is use a pencil. If I can find it, I'll put it here. Everything's got. So I'm going to use a pencil and liquid liner. So I'm going to show you. To give your eyes depth, we're going to do something called tight lining. And I know this looks scary, but basically you are putting eyeliner in the upper waterline. It's better to use a very soft pencil to do this, not a harsh, sharp pencil, because it will give the illusion that there's something there already.
You have
so we're going into the upper one. We're just lifting our lashes, and we're going
here in a mess.
Oh,
You are amazing, Joyce Gunner. Yes, I agree, Ina. I agree.
Oh, I love Ina. She's so sweet. So just up here into the upper waterline, because then it hides, you know, you get the pink. You get the pink here. You want to hide it before you put your liner on. And if you've got small eyes,
I mean, the application is quite challenging. Even, for instance, Patty Bonsera is saying,
yes.
"Oh, I don't know how can we do that? It's quite challenging. Don't you think so? Maybe for you it's easier."
Yes, it does take practice, but if you use a soft pencil, it doesn't take long, and you're virtually going at the root of the lashes. The same when you do the upper lid, you want to keep this lash, keep it on right on the lash. And if you're not very good at doing your upper eyeliner, try not to stretch out, but just balance with your fingers. And you can feel where the liner goes. It's literally going in the roots. If your eyes are small like me, I only go part of the way in. Actually, on the other eye, I'm going to show you with the liquid. So the liquid has the tiniest little nib. I have to use the mirror for this one because I can't actually see that close. So I'm just going right onto the lashes.
Joyce,
I'm drawing in.
I'm thinking, you know, the whole process, especially in the morning when I'm in a bit of a rush. And I'm sure that I will make some mess. So, I mean, probably that require a bit of a time,
Yes.
you know, because I think early in the morning, you know, it could be quite challenging.
Yeah. Liquid liner is a nightmare because if you've got small eyes and you close your eyes quickly, the liquid ends up here, doesn't it?
That's what happened to me quite often.
That's the worst. Yeah. So we then, I like to, once I put liner on, and you can see I haven't put a big, thick black line. I'm then going to use this, it's a gold coloured Stila pencil. You can see it's like a dark brown. I'm going to put that in my lower waterline. Can you see? It's really nice golden colour. So you can put these colours inside or under. So if I was using a green or a blue, I'd put it under, not inside. And then I'm going to take the black and I'm just putting it on the outside corners underneath, like this. And then I'm going to take my cotton bud and just soften that line up because I don't want it to look too harsh. Now, ladies, mascara. I've always been a fan of Max Factor. I've tried hundreds of mascaras, apart from Japanese mascara, which isn't easy to get in the UK. Max Factor is my go-to, even for everything, all my jobs, personal use. Now, you should replace your mascara every 3 months. You twist and you wipe the excess product back into the tube. Then a tip for small eyes like mine, I look down into the mirror and I coat the top of the lashes first. Oops. Not your face, but the tops. And then I take the brush and I wriggle upwards. So this is Max Factor's 2000 calorie mascara. It's my day mascara, I call it, because I just wear it. I put about 2 or 3 coats on. So I go down the lashes on the top first. So, and then underneath, wriggle and push. So if you don't like using lash curlers, this is a good way because it pushes up the lash and coats them. You want to go back and do a second coat just to give volume. And also try to separate your lashes. I don't know if anyone remembers when people used to separate their lashes with a pin after putting the makeup on. I remember those days, my mum doing that. So underneath, you just want to turn the brush this way and just do a very light underneath. And so that's my mascara, not too much, but I have noticed that I've just got a little bit under my eye, so I'm just taking cotton bud just to clean up. That's when I blinked. Who's ever done that? You've put beautiful mascara on and then you blink and then it's everywhere, all over your face, which is so frustrating. I know it's happened to me so many times. So now I've done all of that. My eyes are done, my face is done. I need to add my blusher. So if your skin is looking quite sallow, you need something more peachy. If you suffer from a lot of redness, I'd avoid pinks as well. But we apply blusher in a way depending on the shape of our faces. So if your face is quite round, you don't want to then put the blusher on so it's coming out like this, because it would just make your face even wider. If you've got a really long face and it's quite narrow, you do want to apply the blusher so it comes out towards your ear. Oh, that ear, sorry. And then my face is oval shaped, so I can apply my blusher. I like to use a brush in this shape. And this is my blusher here. It's sort of a pinky, dusky pink. Always tap the excess off. And I'm going to find where I'm going to put the blusher. And I flick this up towards my temple. And again on the other side, start on the cheek and flick up. So I haven't got too much on, but I am going to put a little bit more. It's weird, it's almost as if I'm opposite myself, so I need to use the mirror. Just on the cheeks, not too much. You don't want it to be too heavy. And then we're going to apply some highlighter. So dark colours always draw something in. That's why we put the bronzer here, because we want to create that illusion of it drawing in. The blusher brings things out, and so does the highlighter. So we're just going to highlight above the blusher and the brow bone. Do the same on the other side, above the blusher and on the brow bone. So if you think back what we did, we've got a highlighter here, we've got blusher here, we've got bronzer here. So we're tiering those three things. But if you have a lot of deep set lines here, the highlighter will bring that out. So avoid putting it in those areas. And then lastly, oh, you can put highlighter here. You can put highlighter here, here, and on the top lip if you want to. It's not essential. So lastly, I'm going to do lips. And even though my eyes are quite neutral, so I can apply a red lip, I always like to use a darker liner than the actual lip colour so I can define the shape. I'm going to define the shape of my lip. Do your Cupid's bow. Draw in the lower part of the lip. And I always take it in more than just the outline of the lip. So if your lips are quite thin, you want to draw above the lip. I'm drawing inside because I want to make my lips look smaller.
Joy, as you know, we are wearing masks
Yes.
most of the time. And so, but you know, some of us still want to wear lipstick, but I've noticed that, of course, you know, the mask gets messy, and you know, my lipstick, you know, gets stuck. And so, I don't know. In this case, you would suggest to you know, instead of a lipstick, just to draw the lines, and I don't know. What would you suggest?
Yeah. So you can outline it. You can use a liquid lipstick, or you can go for I've forgotten the brand. Yeah, Max Factor do their lip color. So you put your lip color on first.
Yes.
Let me show you. So you put the color on, which is a kind of a red.
Yes.
You put the color onto the lips. And then when this is dry, it's called it's called a 24-hour lipstick. So when the color's dry, you have a clear coat that you put over the top, and this lipstick does not come off for 12 hours.
All right, thank you.
So you just apply it all over. There's also a really lovely old brand. I'm not sure if it's an international brand, but it's called Lip Coat, Lipcote, and you paint that on your lip. Now, when I was younger, you used to paint that on and it burned like hell. But this, now they've taken that stinging ingredient out and it feels quite subtle. So, ladies, I'm showing my greys, embracing them. What do you think? I'm done. Please fire away some questions for me and Michaela.
Well, I love the way, you know, you put especially the blushes on your cheeks, because sometimes for me it's quite tricky. And well, for instance, I realized that sometimes it's not just a matter of finding the right shades, but you show us that you know, brushes are very important. You use several different brushes. So I don't know, sometimes maybe it's better to invest in brushes than in several colors. I don't know, what's your opinion?
Yeah, your tools are very important. You can see when I did, that's what I used for the highlighter, because I want it to be exactly in that place. Whereas if I used a big brush like this, my highlighter is going to be all over, and I don't want that to happen. So yeah, brushes are important. You should have 3 eye brushes, a powder brush. A blusher brush should be much smaller. You saw my blusher brush. I use this kind of brush because it's easier to just keep it there and then flick out with it. Yeah, brushes are very, very important. Tools of the trade for professionals and home women.
Yes, but I can see that also probably, we should consider not only, our complexion, but also the color of our hair. Because it looks like that when, for instance, we decided to go gray, we have to rethink the way we used to put makeup, the colors.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, there are several women who they don't know which color to use because, going gray, it adds a different light to your face.
Yeah.
Which are the colors?
Absolutely. Everything makes a huge difference. The clothing color, if I took the black completely away, it changes when I have the black close to my face. It's a completely different, you have to think about everything when you're wearing your hair color. I mean, now I'm embracing, I'm halfway there with the grey, not all the way, but I decided to just let my hair go grey, and it's changed how I have to do my makeup because, I had all those big black curls. So now I have to be less is more on the makeup front.
Yeah, but I mean, once again, you just confirm that a makeup artist is probably, the best friend of a woman, because, look at you. Of course, you are a gorgeous lady. But wow, with, makeup on, you really pop, And I also love, the especially the color you chose for your lips, because sometimes either we go to red or to pale. This is lovely, really lovely.
Yes. Yeah.
So Ina Messer said, saying, looking beautiful. Lady Dawn McKinney, gorgeous, well done, you look fab. So thank you so much, Joyce, because I really enjoy it. And I will try to follow your advice. I don't know if I will be able to, but I will try to do my best. And thank you so much. For those who would like to have a recap, we will soon share the full edit. So Joyce, thank you so much. And
thank you everyone for watching.
Talk to you soon. And bye-bye, everyone. Have a lovely weekend. And stay foolish, stay crunchy. Ciao, ciao. Bye.
Ciao, ciao.